Good evening and welcome to another edition of Jay's Retro Toys and Games. It's Season 2, Episode 41 on this Wednesday, December 21st, 2022. It's the first day of winter for all of you Northeasterners and all of those up in the northern part of the United States. Hope you're keeping warm. We're going to keep you warm with an episode tonight. We're looking at a toy that's been around since 1983. And it was a line of dolls and accessories first founded and designed by Chris Wiggs in 1983, licensed by Bluebird Toys from 1989 until both entities and properties were acquired by Mattel in 1998. We're looking at the tiniest little things, but they were so cute that every girl wanted it, next to a Barbie doll. We're looking at Polly Pocket tonight on Jay's Retro Toys and Games. 4 days till Christmas, and hope you're having a great time here on Jay's Retro Toys and Games and the YouTube channel. We thank you very much for joining us here during the Christmas season, and we're glad that you are here for another edition of our great show. We're ready to go with a look at Polly Pocket. That's right. These little tiny miniature toys. So tiny. Like Micro Machines for the boys, the girls had Polly Pocket. And she was designed by Chris Wiggs in 1983 for his daughter Kate, using a makeup powder compact. He fashioned a small house for the tiny doll. Now, Bluebird Toys of Swindon, England, licensed the concept, and the first Polly Pocket toys appeared in stores in 1989. Mattel had a distribution arrangement with Bluebird Toys for Polly Pocket items in the early 90s. Now, in 98, while production slowed down, Bluebird Toys endured multiple hostile takeover attempts until Mattel finally purchased both the brand and Bluebird Toys later that year. The sets made by Bluebird Toys are now valuable collectibles. The original Polly Pocket toys were plastic cases that opened to form a dollhouse or other playset with Polly Pocket figurines less than an inch tall. The dolls folded in the middle, like the case, and had circular bases which slotted into holes in the case interior, allowing them to stand securely at particular points in the house. This was particularly useful for moving points in the case. Because the dolls were so small, sometimes they came enclosed in pendants or large rings instead of the more typical playset cases. In 1998, Mattel redesigned Polly Pocket. The new doll was larger, with a more lifelike appearance than the original dolls. She had a straight ponytail rather than the curly bob hairstyle used previously. The following year, Mattel also introduced Fashion Polly, which used the same characters from the new Polly Pocket or Polly Leah, Shani, Leela, etc., Lila, but they came in the form of 3 3/4 inches or 9.5 centimeters of plastic jointed dolls. They gave a new spin on fashion dolls instead of traditional cloth clothing. Polly Pockets used unique poly-stretch garments created by Genie Toys, rubbery plastic clothes that could be put on the dolls and removed, and there are also some boy dolls, Rick, Steven, and like the Barbie and Bratz brands, Polly Pocket has also expanded into the media franchise, consisting of DVD exclusive animated films, books, and a website, with the latter currently a section of under the larger Mattel website. In 2002, Mattel stopped producing the smaller Polly Pocket playset range, but continued to produce the larger fashion doll. 2004, Mattel introduced the Polly Pocket Quick Click line. Now, instead of having rubbery clothes, the dolls had plastic clothes that would click together by magnets. On November 22nd, 2006, 4.4 million Polly Pocket playsets were recalled by Mattel after children in the United States swallowed loose magnetic parts. Now, affected toys had been sold around the world for 3 years prior. As defined by the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission, the use of magnets in children's toys, and particularly the inclusion of 2 or more magnetic parts in such toys, has resulted in many significant injuries in children and has been repeatedly flagged as hazardous by the Commission, who have sued many companies over such toys and announced many recalls. Mattel relaunched Polly Pocket in 2010 by making further changes to the dolls, including increasing feet size, head size, and leg size. And although the height remains approximately the same, however, fan reactions were mixed. It also introduced the croutons, which are inanimate animal hybrids. In 2012, Polly Pocket toys were discontinued in the U.S. but remained available in Europe and South America. The brand dwindled, eventually only being sold in Brazil, and the dolls would continue to be sold exclusively in Brazil until the brand's 2018 reboot. February 12, 2018, Garrett Sander announced on his Instagram page that Polly Pocket would be making a comeback. The new toys are miniature dolls and playsets like the original 90s Polly Pocket, rather than the larger fashion Polly. However, they are slightly larger than the original 90s version, and rather than slotting into holes in the case, the new Polly is made of a flexible plastic that sticks to certain surfaces, but also bends so she can sit in a chair. In addition to the reboot in 2018, Hot Topic and unique vintage clothing brands have created merchandise inspired by the vintage Polly Pocket brand, including handbags, makeup, and clothing items for adults. So here are a list of the characters who appeared in the Polly Pocket media franchise. You have Polly Pocket, the title character with light-toned skin, blonde hair, and light blue eyes. She is described as being very confident, cool, friendly, optimistic, adventurous, resourceful, and loyal. She loves having fun, adventures, and importantly, friends. She has many hobbies such as skateboarding, water skiing, snowboarding, shopping, playing music, and singing. Polly has a fun and cool fashion style. Voiced by Tegan Moss, Susan Thorpe, and Emily Tennant, Shawnee Smith is another. The Polly Pocket is voiced by Tegan Moss, Susan Thorpe, and Emily Tennant. Now, Shawnee Smith is a dark-toned skin, dark brown hair, and brown eyes. She is described as being intelligent and creative. Shawnee is a technical genius who loves taking things apart to see how they work, as well as a proficient inventor. She loves gadgets, such as MP3 players and headphones. Shawnee has an urban fashion style. Voiced by Chiara Zani, Erin Fitzgerald, and Kazumi Evans, and Sharanler Estrada. Then you have Lila Draper. She's a pale-toned skin, brown hair, and light purple eyes. A later strawberry blonde hair and blue eyes, then a redhead and green eyes. She is described as being sweet and fashionable. Lila is a fashionista who loves to go shopping for the latest styles, trends, and accessories. She is also best friends with Chrissy, as well as a talented dancer. Lila's fashion style is a glam, and she's of Scottish ancestry. She's voiced by Brittany Wilson, Kate Higgins, and Shannon Chan Kent. Then the formers, you had Leah, Chrissy, Rick, Todd, and Kirsty. Then you had some films. Polly Pocket, Lunar Eclipse, Polly Pocket 2, Cool at the Pocket Plaza, Polly World, Untitled Polly Pocket Film. There's also a web series and a TV series. Playset characters. Other toy lines. There's similar toy lines to Polly Pocket, including Mighty Max by Bluebird as listed below, but a few other small-scale sets that came around the time of the original Bluebird compact Polly Pocket sets include Star Castle Kingdom by Treadmasters in 95, and Fairy Winkles were produced by Kenner in 93 to 95. Small compact toys featuring Pokemon characters were created by Tommy Nintendo in 1997. That sounds like Nintendo almost. Called Pokemon Mate, which were a similar scale and style to the Polly Pocket toys. And lastly, Bluebird Toys produced miniature Disney sets from 1997 to 1999. There you have it, a look at Polly Pocket, a very interesting toy line that had a very good run and will be a collector's item if you have any around, kind of in your treasure chest. See what happens. Friday's edition, we'll be looking at a game. And this game, well, I tell you, it was an interesting game for its time. And we're going to look at it. Let's see if it's available. I don't know. I had a Voltron. It was a Voltron game, but I don't think that's a video game. Let me see. It should be a board game. That should be the one. Let's see. No. Okay. I didn't think so. But let's see. I remember a game called Safely Home. Does anybody remember Safely Home? No. That's not what we're thinking. We may have to type in board game. See. Nope. Well, here's an well, let's look at the game that we were going to look at a long time ago, and we're going to look at Sorry. That's right, Sorry. Yep, the board game that is based on the ancient Indian cross and circle game Pachisi. We'll look at that game on Friday's episode 42. From all of us here at Jay's Retro Toys and Games, I'm Jason DeCanio, thanking you again. Remember, be honest, be real, and keep it simple, stupid. Kiss. We will see you on Friday. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Don't forget to subscribe to the David Dyson Network for great more content like this one.